In 2018, something changed in me. Not slightly, but fundamentally. And that change is the reason why this channel exists. Today I want to take you on that journey, to tell you what that change is all about and how it helped me to think again. Let me start in the middle. After the change, I started a blog called Carlin Carlin, named after my two heroes, Carl Sagan and George Carlin. The blog had a subtitle. It doesn't translate well into English, but roughly it meant endless discussions with less ideology and more thinking. This subtitle makes perfect sense because what changed in 2018 was that I threw away most of my labels. Nationality, religion, political ideology, sports clubs, labels. You know, the things that we glue onto what we say and do publicly to signal which tribes we belong to. To say, I am of this group, but not of that group. I threw them away. Most of them, at least. And it's important to understand that we don't just belong to these tribes. We defend them, we wear their labels with pride, and point to others for having the wrong labels. It's the typical discussions, you know, progressives versus conservatives and atheists versus believers, or Lakers versus Celtics. My point is, this is everywhere. It's normal. So normal that we stop noticing what it does to us. The moment you identify with a group, something subtle happens. You stop questioning if what the group stands for is true. Its worldview becomes obvious. No evidence is needed. And if it's obvious for you, then anyone outside of it must be wrong because it should be obvious to them. And this creates a weird cycle. I am a good person. The people I align with are good. Therefore, my groups are good. And if my groups are good, what they say must be true and right. And from that moment on, disagreement stops being disagreement and starts feeling like a personal attack. I didn't see this clearly until 2018. At some point in that year, I was reading this book, Sapiens. And it was reading this book that it clicked to me. My groups, my labels, they aren't special. They are just like all other groups. They are human abstractions. They are inventions, labels. They are just names that we put on stuff. They are not better or worse than any of the other groups. But they were doing something to me. They were limiting how I thought. More importantly, how I listened. I started noticing just how hard it was for people in opposing groups to have a real conversation. Everything was gotchas and clickbait. And it's not because people are stupid, and it's not because there's a side that has all of the good people and a side that has all of the bad people, but because the whole conversation was not about ideas anymore. It was about defending identity and proving the other side is wrong. Because after all, my group is always right, right? And once you see that, you start seeing it everywhere. A lot of what looks like disagreement today isn't really about facts or reasoning. It's just identity conflict. It's groups pulling people towards more extreme positions because that's what keeps the group together. My groups were the shortcut to being right. Well, I don't want to be right. I want to make the world a better place. So I had to ask, are my groups right? All of them. All the time. I couldn't consider myself intellectually honest and still hold on to those labels. So I dropped them. Not overnight, not dramatically. In fact, this video is the most I spoke about this. But it changed the way I moved through the world. I became more interested in understanding than in being right, especially with people I disagree with. I remember interacting with an American Iraq War veteran on Quora. Ultra conservative, evangelical, very pro gun. A year earlier, I would have dismissed him immediately. In 2019, I didn't, and the conversation was easy, open, actually interesting. That would not have happened before. Because the real change wasn't just removing the labels, it was dropping the idea that my side already has the answers and accepting a simple truth. However unlikely it is that I'm wrong, it is more unlikely that I am always right. And once you embrace that, something opens up. You can actually think again. That's where this channel comes from. Not from the idea that people should agree more, or that there's some perfect neutral position in the middle, but from the idea that most of us are operating with conclusions drawn by someone else that we never properly examined, because even questioning them comes at a cost. Our values become performative, and you either perform them or you leave the group. This channel is an attempt to step out of that, to question what feels obvious, to look at ideas without immediately attaching identity to them. I still use the labels sometimes. They are convenient. If I'm talking about philosophy of religion, which is one of my favorite topics, it is easier to say, I'm an atheist, than to explain my position on the existence of God. It's a simplification, and the label itself is meaningless to me, but it keeps the conversation moving instead of stopping everything to explain exactly where I stand. Labels are just these shortcuts now. They are not positions that I am attached to. Do any labels remain? Of course. I am the father of the best daughter in the world, the husband of the best wife in the world, and the friend of the best friends in the world, and definitely the owner of the best dogs in the world. But ideologically, I'm just me. I'm open to change my mind. I'm open to understand what I got wrong. And look, if there's a label for that, tell me what it is, and I'll reject it too.